Hi, how's it going? I'm Lennan. Thanks for wandering by. So tonight I have my beautiful candles out because it is evening here. You might hear some music, drumming going on in the background, which kind of fits my mood right now. Tonight I'm doing something that I think is pretty special, and I wanted to share it with all of you, and along with my friend Lennan Smith. So my buddy Lennan and I are both reading the Rachel Pollack book, A Walk Through the Forest of Souls. I'll put the cover of the book up here as well. And I was also a small tiny part in the creation of Lennan's latest tarot deck that she created, the Quintessential Thoth Tarot. I'll flip through it just real quick here, but I have a full side-by-side of this deck and the Thoth Tarot. And I'll also link below Lennan's walkthrough of her deck. But anyway, Lennan created this deck after a suggestion that I think I left her in a comment or I messaged her something. We were chatting when she was showing another deck of hers, the Marble Statue Tarot, and I kind of requested a deck, a Thoth deck where we get like the patterns or the design or like wallpaper or something like that. And Lennan took that idea and ran with it and just created this beautiful deck that is it's just amazing. It's so soulful. It is so deep. You'll see my impressions of it, and if you watch that video of the side by side with this and the Thoth Tarot and the OG Thoth Tarot. But anyway, I've been using the heck out of this deck, and this deck I feel like it just runs the gamut of what it can do. It's deep and spiritual and powerful, and it really hits very core, I don't know, kind of feelings inside me. But at the same time, I've also been using it as sort of an everyday type of reader. And I've been having lots of fun. I'll talk more about the different ways I've been using the Quintessential Thoth Tarot in another video, in my monthly wrap up or something. Let's get to tonight's video, which is, let me go back to the book, A Walk Through the Forest of Souls by Rachel Pollack. So, like many of you out there, Rachel Pollack is one of my tarot, teachers, a mentor, a guide, like an OG, teacher of the tarot. And I've read lots of her books and guidebooks, and recently I've been reading A Walk Through the Forest of Souls, like many of us, because it was just released not too long ago. And that book it's probably one of the most highlighted, quotable books tarot books that I have. And Lennan and I thought that it would be so cool to try out one of the readings that she does in A Walk Through the Forest of Souls. Now, the reading, you already know from the title, is called the Soul Reading. And in the book, I don't want to give away too much of the book because I really think that it's a worthwhile read. So I'll put, obviously a link to it down below. But I just want to say that Rachel just hits a place that just resonated so deeply with me about, why can't we ask the tarot just anything? And in fact, why can't we ask the tarot about itself is one of the things that she talked about in the book as well. And then also, why wouldn't we ask the tarot like the big burning questions about, the meaning of life and the soul and things like that. And I was just so, I was so inspired by it, and also kind of scared by the idea of asking the tarot that. But I wanted to do this reading, and Lennan and I we came up with, what we wanted to do together and share it with all of you, and also tag it in case you wanted to try this out for yourself as well. And so this is hashtag the soul reading, a homage, a homage to Rachel Pollack, a gift from Rachel Pollack, who sadly, passed away, and but whose work is, and body of work is just amazing, and really, and I haven't even spent that long with her work, as many of the folks in the community may have, spent a lot longer with Rachel Pollack's body of work and ideas in their lives. Anyway, all of that to say that I'm going to go ahead and do the soul reading here on camera with all of you. And Lennan and I wanted to, invite you into our individual readings. We're going to release these videos on the same day so that you can see mine and you can see hers. And and invite you to, to also participate if you'd like to. So we create, we made it a hashtag the soul reading, if you would like to try it out as well. I admit, again, that I'm quite nervous about this because, let me start shuffling and I'll tell you why. This soul reading, so the idea just in general of a soul is one that I don't know how I feel about that. I don't have a ready answer for anybody if they were to ask me even if I believe in a soul, or if I don't believe in a soul, or what I believe a soul actually is. I don't have a ready answer. And I've been, if any of you have been, paying any attention to my channel or hanging out with me for some time, you'll know that a lot of what I've been working through and working with and working on through this journey in the last couple of years is, kind of defining and answering some really big, some of those big meaning of life questions, some of those big value system questions, some of those big spiritual questions that I thought I had mapped out for myself when I was in my 20s, and then I found now in middle age, I've kind of just, I don't know, it's like a tower card. I had a tower card moment where everything came down and I'm rebuilding, right? So this reading, I'm going to put the questions up as we go. It's four questions total. And I'm the type of person that I like to put the cards down, face down, and then reveal them as we go. So let's see how we do. Like I said, I'm kind of nervous. So let me quiet myself down to get to a place where I can ask these questions. The soul reading. More shuffle and we'll go. What is the soul? How do we make soul? What does it demand of us? What does it give us? Okay. So the first question is probably the most the one that makes me the most nervous is, what is soul? And we got the Emperor card. Wow. The Emperor. I mean, so when you saw me, if you saw me react to this tarot deck compared to the original, you would have heard me say over and over again that the quintessential Thoth tarot feels like the blood of that card. It feels like the inner workings of that particular archetype, that card. This hits on an extremely personal level for me because I've been getting the Emperor card a lot recently, and it feels like, and I guess I'll, keep going from here and see what the rest of the cards say. But from the get-go, it feels like this is, like I said, hitting me on a personal level, but it feels like the soul, this is what makes us and drives us, is we name it ourselves. Like, only we can name what is the soul for ourselves. Because that's what this Emperor energy feels like to me. It feels like the only one who can answer that question is me. It's almost as if the it's almost as if the tarot is telling me that I decide what is the soul. Like, I have the power. I get to decide. It feels like, it's so funny too, because Lennan just did a whole she just did a whole video on Nietzsche, and this is making me think of Nietzsche and the idea that we, the overman or the uberman, that we are that nothing really means anything if you're, in that existentialist kind of way. But we are the ones who add meaning. And that is what a soul is. Like, we have the control and the power and the life's blood, the soul to, we are directing that answer for ourselves. I am in control of what I believe makes up the soul. Okay, so lots, I've said lots already, and I'm not sure if it's making any sense at all whatsoever to you guys, but it feels extremely personal. So I assume, I'm not sure if other people will have a universal type experience with this or not. So how do we make soul? Okay, so if the soul is the Emperor and it's in charge, or I'm in charge of saying what it is, and it's in charge as well. It feels like that goes together. I'm in charge of it and it's in charge of me. Does that make sense? So how do we make soul? Oh, you guys, I couldn't. You saw me shuffle. How do we make soul? The Empress. Wow. I could cry just getting these two cards together because this is no joke. How do we make soul? The Empress is what creates it. So there's that balance of the divine here. That's what this feels like. And it's the divine without and within. And it's these two working parts. The Empress. Wow. And this is her potency. This is the inner workings of the Empress herself, the mother, the the creator. That's who I feel she is. Wow, that's kind of amazing. Not just kind of, that's like absolutely 100% amazing. Okay, so next is, what does it demand of us? So what does the soul demand of us? The Knight of Swords. Huh, that's really cool. I feel like this is just straight up for me that the Knight of Swords came up, because I'm an air sign. And I think that it's my job to communicate, to send out into the universe all of my interconnected ideas, and like, I'm supposed to be doing this right now. Like, I'm supposed to be sharing this with you. That is what the soul is demanding of me, that I am telling you, I'm sharing my thoughts, I'm sharing it out loud, and I'm giving it and I'm putting it out there in the world. And that is what the soul is demanding of me. And then lastly, what does it give us? So what does the soul give us? And I've been, talking about this about just me, but I feel like this is universal and personal at the same time. That's what I think is so amazing. It's individual and it is community based. It's for one and for all. Oh, sorry if that sounds cheesy. Okay, so what does it give us? What does the soul give us? Oh my gosh, the Moon. So 3 major cards here. The Moon. What does the soul give us? Well, the soul gives us endless cycles, but cycles that we connect to. The soul gives me a mystery and an enigma and a puzzle to solve. And it feels like it's infinite. It's infinite. It goes on forever. And maybe never to be solved, maybe never to end. Yeah. And it's the light in the dark. The soul gives us the light in the dark, just like the moon. That's incredibly powerful and quite amazing. I mean, I feel like that last question just came so readily. Like everything after the emperor, everything after the what is the soul, after the emperor, it all just landed, and it makes this is just like stunningly beautiful and very powerful reading. I was nervous about it. I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to even, be able to share with you what happened here on my reading table. But I'm so glad that I did this. I feel like I could just sit here and look at these cards and think about this for the next hour or so. And I might do that on my own. I won't subject you to even more of my, ramblings about this. But I really do. I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad that I have the father, the mother here, and what feels like a soul purpose, and what I get back from it. That's what this feels like. This feels very, very personal, but I also feel like this is something that, it might actually be resonating with some of you out there for yourselves. Although I invite you to, join me and Lennan and try this reading out for yourselves as well. So thank you so much for hanging out with me through this soul reading. Thank you to Lennan for, first of all, creating this amazing deck, and second of all, for joining me, for coming up with this with me and doing this with me on camera. I appreciate you, my friend. And thanks again for being here with me through the soul reading. I'd love to see what you thought of my reading, and I would love to hear or see any of you do this particular reading as well. Again, thanks for sticking around with me, and I hope that you all have a beautiful, wonderful night. Bye now.